President of a bank here, President UBank, Kabeer Naqvi Saab.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, Mr. Kram Saigal, DG Seema, Raza Bakar Saab, ladies and gentlemen, very warm welcome to all of you from my side. I'm very happy to be here today. I will take the first 5 minutes to just develop some perspective as to how did we get here from a practitioner's point of view. And today we are talking about AMA, which is a telco agnostic and bank agnostic mobile wallet. But the journey started many years back in 2007, 2008, when the central bank took a very brave decision of launching the first bank-led branchless banking model in the world. I was part of the team that indulged into this whole process of branchless banking and offering services outside of the brick and mortar setup. I was part of Tameer Bank. Nadeem was here, he just left. And Telenor and Tameer Bank, we started this service in 2009, and the name is a household name now, followed by Jazz, Ali sitting here, and UPesa, which is a brand that we have with our sister concern, Ufone. Now, initially, we went with a super agency agreement, because initially there was no blueprint. Either we had to go with a service level agreement, who will own the customer, where will the revenue be parked. So there were a lot of kinks, taxation issues that had to be solved, because this was the first time this was happening anywhere in the world. Now, nearly 14 years down, I'm very happy to be here, and I would really want to congratulate State Bank, PTA, Pathfinder Group, and all of you that we are seeing a solution finally, which is not a one-to-one model, which is a many-to-many model, and which is completely customer-centric. So this is one area that we took more than a decade, 1.5 decades to be precise. Now, from here on, you people, I'm sure many of you indulge into these wallet business, many of us have different wallets on apps and USSDs. I would want to touch upon the distinction between a wallet on an app and a wallet through a USSD string. And as smartphone penetration is increasing in Pakistan, which it is, the general perception is that with the smartphone penetration, you will be totally telco agnostic and you can open any service wallet on your app. Now, I'll share my personal experience with you, because I work for a microfinance bank and I do around 6,000-7,000 road miles every quarter. Last week I was in Nagar Parkar, Chor and other areas, and for 3 days I was struggling with service. Obviously, and there were rains also, and the towers and patrol issues. Many issues are going on in the country nowadays, especially. So how do you actually get people on board onto this beautiful railroad that we've made, and how will people use it, and what will they do with it? That's the natural next question. Many people argue that the days of the USSD are over. In my view, as a practitioner, when we talk to our customers, when we see our data, it's not true. In my personal view, USSD is going to stay, and for a long time. Now that brings me to my next argument or concern or statement, whatever you may want to call it. Raza Bakar Saab is sitting here 3 years back, maybe he remembers, in a meeting, Ikram Saigal Saab and myself, we were there, and it was early days for AMA launch, and we were doing the pilot. And we said, eventually, if you look at the regime in which the accounts are being opened, level 0, level 1, level 2, when we graduate to level 2 mobile wallet on AMA, which has higher limits, and you can do many more things, and regular customers can actually use this as a regular bank account, not just with a smaller limit or fewer transactions. That is where the real volumes are going to come in. And obviously, it had to be a journey. And 3 years down, mashallah, we are there. And the natural graduation would be, if we are able to provide credit, savings products, and other banking services. Another point that I would really want to touch upon here, which is very close to my heart, is the why part. Why are we opening these wallets? Why do we want more wallets? How many of these wallets, once when they're opened, stay active? What is the definition of an active wallet? What is the value proposition for the person that we are trying to bring into the financial net? Many people say that financial inclusion or digitization, could even, it's borderline buzzword as well, which I don't agree with. But what is the reason why we're investing millions of dollars and people are spending time, regulators are spending their time, effort, and globally we have very good examples But in the Pakistani context, as Shahzad was mentioning in his message, that 65% plus people are less than the age of 34, but 26.6 million children are out of school. The education level, financial literacy, when you go down in the field where the rubber meets the road, you see the real landscape, you see the real story. And this is what I wanted to bring into this hall in Marriott today, what I saw in my recent trip also, which I see every quarter, as to what the reality is out there. So a lot of work needs to be done on financial literacy. That's why the brick and mortar and digitization are not mutually exclusive in my view. They go hand in hand in a country like Pakistan. Because bulk of the brick and mortar branches are in the higher cities, tier 1 cities, tier 2 cities. What we are trying to do in our institution as well, we're trying to go to the last mile as much as possible. And that has its own issues. It's very expensive also, yes. But eventually, when we hit critical mass, it's going to serve the purpose that we are looking for. So these are a few thoughts that I wanted to leave everybody with today. While it's a great time, mashallah. You know, we've got this whole business of wallets booming in Pakistan. We've got millions of mobile wallets. We've got real use cases kicking in. We are into nano credits, other stuff as well. But at the end of the day, when you look at a client-centric approach, when you think about what does a 26-year-old boy or a girl in Dadu city with a mobile phone, with a feature phone, do with, say, per se, an AMA account, that is where the thinking needs to go eventually for product development, for usage. So the railroad is there, it's out there, the regulation is there, the risks have been identified, it's been laid out, the mobile wallets are being opened, yes. But now from here, the real challenge, and again, as I said in the beginning, this is the practitioner's view. When you hook people onto these wallets, what do they do with this wallet? And what do we do with the savings that we acquire onto these wallets as banks? Because there is a full loop that needs to be considered for the value proposition. And in the end, I would just want to give you an analogy, an example that I usually share with people. I read somewhere a few years ago that one of the companies had digitized a biryani stall in Lahore somewhere. And people were very happy that this person through a QR code is accepting payments and we have digitized it. And so the person would collect cash and then take the cash home and and then we had digitized the whole process, which is great. The person was making 1 deg or 2 degs of biryani a day. And after collecting payments digitally, most likely he was still making 1 deg or 2 degs of biryani and efficiently collecting cash. So efficient collection of cash through a digital railroad is, in my personal view, a huge part of transformation, but not the entire thing. What if we use the data that we acquired on the wallet and then offered credit to the biryani chap so he could do 10 degs and then increase productivity and the income levels and graduate him to a shop? So this is where it has to go, and payments and credit needs to be looked at from a different lens, because we lend to the masses unsecured via income proxies. It's a different world out there. When you're talking about transformation of lives, you have to talk about providing unsecured credit. And that is a longer journey, that is a risky journey. Capital is involved, risk is involved, but this is where we ought to go as an industry. So these are my few thoughts, and I would once again want to congratulate Ikram Saab and everybody on stage and in the audience. Thank you very much.